Bring back the man in you, not because you need to, but because you will want to. Improve your weight room and bedroom performance with the all-new VasoFlux for Men Natural Dietary Supplement. This unique blend of barks, roots, herbs, and vitamins is nature's way of keeping you in the game. And all for under $10. You can order yours today. Visit Youth Fountain Laboratory at youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today.
Derrick Demetrius Coleman, born June 21st, 1967. Today's feature is the perfect example of what stunted growth is all about. Some see a player and their career stats and conclude that because of the numbers they've put up that seems above average, they must have had a good career and can't be considered a disappointment or even bust. But when you look beneath the surface and discover what that player was as an amateur or earlier in their career and the expectations they've created for themselves, you begin to see that for some reasons they haven't quite hit that mark. Derrick Coleman is as far as you need to look to understand this concept. In the early 90s, Coleman was considered the best power forward in the game, not named Karl Malone or Charles Barkley. His talent was way ahead of its time, and his skills and performances were effortless on the floor. Off the floor was another story. A story of alcohol abuse, attitude, and questionable effort issues, and even going broke after making more than $100 million over the course of his career. He managed to turn his life around and uses himself to help others as much as he can nowadays. But what happened to this unique talent that could have been the best power forward ever and clear-cut Hall of Famer to cause him to miss that mark? Let's talk about it. Salute to Terrence Woods, the massive group for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Derrick Coleman is from Mobile, Alabama, and went to high school in Detroit, where he was a star player that had his choice of any school in the country to attend, but chose Syracuse. In his prime, he was a 6'10", 230-pound lefty that was a bruiser down low and equally feathery with the basketball as a creator for himself or others. He had all the qualities you want from a forward position that included strength, touch around the basket, size, passing ability, shooting ahead of its time, and an attitude and toughness to match his friendly smile and personality. A for sure 2010 career guy that by the end of his career fell just short of those numbers, although still solid. But solid is not what Derrick Coleman should have been. Stunt number 1, drafted to the New Jersey Nets.
No, I don't believe you.
Don't believe me? Read this. As a freshman at Syracuse, Coleman helped his team, along with 3 other future NBA players, all the way to the national championship game, where a missed free throw by him could have sealed the victory. Instead, his team watched as Keith Smart then made the game-winning shot with 5 seconds left in the game and took away Coleman's chance to solidify himself as the greatest player to ever play for the Orangemen. He pulled down 19 rebounds in that game and averaged 12 points and 9 rebounds that season and was named the Conference Freshman of the Year and 3rd Team All-Big East. As a sophomore, he was a first-team All-Big East performer along with winning a Big East championship. He averaged 14 points and 11 rebounds. His numbers would improve each season, and by his senior year, he was the Big East Player of the Year, first team All-Big East for a 3rd time, averaging 18 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 3 assists. He finished his career as Syracuse's all-time leading scorer and the NCAA's all-time leading rebounder. As you can see, Coleman was everything you could want to be as an amateur and created expectations for himself that he would soon find more difficult to reach than most thought he would attain easily. So much so that in the 1990 NBA draft, he was taken with the #1 pick by the New Jersey Nets and expected to lead the downtrodden franchise to greatness. According to Coleman himself, the situation in New Jersey was just too much for him to handle, and outside of being outstanding individually, over time, that burden would weigh on him mentally, attitude-wise, and most importantly, physically. Much like my last feature, Jim Jackson, Coleman had an attitude to him that needed guidance, that needed a veteran voice to help him cook his raw talents, so to speak. Guys like Coleman you have to be careful with as a franchise when investing in, because although they have the attitude and on-court tools you desire, their weakness is those very same things that can take them out of control, and once that happens, the entire league begins to view them and that jacket of reputation unfairly, leading to less opportunities and eventual stunted growth. A great example, DeMarcus Cousins, another DC and another Mobile, Alabama product at the same position and possessed the same abilities as Coleman, good or bad. Immediately, Coleman would have issues and was described as loved by teammates and tolerated by coaches. He has the record for arrests during an NBA career with 7, the first coming in 1994 while averaging 20 and 10 for the Nets. Being on a team as the #1 pick, expectations and an attitude out of control, he turned to alcohol and began to wear a jacket of a cancerous player, although on the court, he was the Rookie of the Year and 2010 guy over his first 5 seasons. Had he been taken under the wing of a vet he respected and ability to guide a young Coleman, maybe his run could have lasted a little longer. Stunt number 2, attitude issues. The first stunt, although a very important one, we can't always blame factors outside of Coleman himself for him not becoming what he could have. Another very notable reason he didn't is synonymous to his name and reputation as an attitude player that couldn't control his temper, and even effort questions surrounding him playing just good enough to earn a paycheck. Paycheck that over the course of his career would amount to over $100 million, which he allegedly lost a few years after retirement. As mentioned earlier, he was arrested and suspended on record occasions, all the way down to the end of his career being involved in the biggest brawl in sports history as a member of the Detroit Pistons. It came as a shock to most that Coleman, over the course of his career, couldn't seem to get his attitude under control, being a 4-year college player and achieving the success he had in the beginning. He was the Rookie of the Year in 1991 over future Hall of Famer Gary Payton and others in his class. This attitude led him to being traded from the New Jersey Nets at the recommendation of new head coach Butch Beard, who came in and wanted to build a more responsible culture. He and Kenny Anderson didn't see eye to eye with Beard, and the team he became an all-star with were eager to get rid of their star, receiving only Sean Bradley for him of notoriety. He'd play for Philly, Charlotte, traded back to Philly, and eventually Detroit, where he was waived after suspension for his role in the Palace Brawl. For players like Coleman, Jim Jackson, DeMarcus Cousins, their attitude made them who they became and also led to their journey across the league and eventual stunted growth. Stunt number 3, injuries. Along with misfitted situations and attitude issues, whether true or not, Coleman also dealt with numerous injuries that eventually took away his athleticism and ability to stay on the floor. Over his 15-year NBA career, he only managed to play more than 60 games 6 times, with most coming in his first 5 seasons. The best ability is availability, and DERRICK Coleman was usually injured and unavailable over the course of his NBA career. His most productive season outside of his time with the Nets came in 96-97 with a trio of a rookie Allen Iverson and Jerry Stackhouse. He averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds and also 3 assists in just 57 games. His stats began to decline and become inconsistent from then on, and most of it was due to the nagging injuries he seemed to acquire over that time. To that point, some even questioned his work ethic to stay in shape and play through the ones he could. With this alcohol abuse at its peak mid-career, I can understand how it would be easy to let himself go and be content with the contracts he continued to sign regardless. He also dealt with an irregular heartbeat that limited his production and ability to work on his game. His career ended as a Detroit Piston in the 04-05 season after his suspension and averaging career lows across the board. He filed for bankruptcy in 2010, reporting that after his $100 million career, he only had assets worth $1 million. He was huge in his assistance to Flint, Michigan during the water crisis and would donate materials and money to help local residents in the area. All in all, DERRICK Coleman, in my opinion, is still a basketball legend that's not talked about enough for him ushering the stretch four style into the NBA and for the talent he showed early in his career. He could have been the greatest power forward ever, easily, had the things above not be a part of his jacket. But salute to him, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out. Also, if you have some time, I'm inviting you to check out the new website. Many have been asking for a Cash App or how they can support the channel. Honestly, you watching the video and getting to this point of it is more than enough. But if you want to go the extra mile and get some pretty cool gear at the same time, new winter hoodies have just been released. It's a part of a project I'm working on, all original designs. For now, there's the gold tips along with the red and black. A play on words that exalt the game we all know and love. StuntedGrowth3.com if you want to get some gear and show some support. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. I'm really out this time. Chill.